Welcome all. This is a video that I've wanted to do for quite some time. I loved the Halo series. Do I love it still? Maybe a little bit. I mean, there's definitely nostalgia there. I had a lot of good memories, a lot of good time with Halo 1, Halo 2, doing LAN parties with both those games, and then transitioning to the online scene with Halo 2. It was just a phenomenal experience, and if you weren't there, I mean, you really missed out. It was a really good time. But that said, Halo's they've gone way down from where they used to be. We have, there's like 4,000 people around there. I just checked it, and about that many people playing. That's very, not even close to the numbers they used to have. And it's really sad to see. Halo used to be a great property. But really what I want to talk about today with Halo is what I think Microsoft and 343 don't realize what they have. And I think today, like now, is the perfect time to jump on it. You have the name, because if it was a Halo 5, Halo 6, it wouldn't be a really good name for what I'm propositioning. But the name is Halo Infinite, which is what, Halo 6 technically? But Halo Infinite. So we've kind of broken away from a number scheme, and I think it's a good time to add an addition onto the game. So you have Firefight, you have the campaign, you have the multiplayer, which is kind of floundering, obviously, with 4,000 people. But what I think they're missing and what they should be doing, I think they were trying to do a BR for a while, and another company was designing it, but that fell through, it seems. So we're just we got what we got. What I'd like to see is a looter shooter. So we know the pedigree of Bungie. They came from Halo 1, 2, and then all the way through. I think the Reach was their last game for Microsoft. And then they broke away and they started Destiny. Back in, 2012-ish, somewhere around there. And then when that came out, was it 12? Yeah, I think it was 12 actually when Destiny 1 came out. And it was a pretty good game. Obviously, and I don't mean story-wise or it had a ton of problems, obviously. But the looting part was pretty good. The raids were pretty good. It had definitely some good concepts there. The story was, jacked up, and that's a whole different video. And I just saw an Actman video of him talking to Marty O'Donnell and them kind of going over what was going on at the time. And I don't think they even brought up, what's his name? It's not Jason Jones. That's one of the founders. What is that guy's name? He was head writer, though. And, he's been back and forth with Microsoft and Bungie and Halo and just the whole IP, really. And, it seems like he had a story laid out. It didn't flesh out, so they booted him for whatever reason, after, I think Activision came in at that point. I don't remember exactly, but sad time, sad time for gamers, sad time for Bungie. But I think Bungie pretty much has a hook on the market for being one of the best, if not the best, looter shooter FPS, of course. We just got the first Descendant that came out, which is, it's good, but it needs a lot of work. And you have to remember, it's only been out for so long, whereas Destiny's been out for 10 years now? 10, 12 years? So, it has a big head start. I really think Halo, if you just look at what we're seeing on the screen here, fill this up with things to do and events that happen that play into other events. Let's say if we were over here and there's some Marines that are fending off some elites or some grunts or jackals or something like that, and then you complete this event, and then that event changed to another event down here, and then that event is secure the drop point. Hell divers or hell jumpers are coming in, and you need to secure the point. And then if you fail it, maybe another condition happens. Maybe that sends you back up to here, or maybe that sends you to the tower. You need to bring off the AA defenses. There's trying to get your imagination going here. There's I'm thinking kind of like a Guild Wars 2 type of take on it, where one event leads to another based on succeeding or failing. And this could totally be a looter shooter. You have to do it right, though, too. What I keep seeing in a lot of these looter shooters is just a myriad of items dropping. And one thing I don't want to see is yellows or orange or whatever. However, it's the same tier, the legendary tier, dropping at a too high of a rate. Legendaries no longer are legendaries in today's gaming world. Back when WoW, the original, so vanilla, when it came out, legendaries were legendary. When you saw a person with Sulfuris or you saw them with Thunder Fury, you're like, whoa, that person went through a ton of effort and probably a guild behind them helping them to obtain that weapon. Like, it was no small feat. And now, do I want just one person on the server to have it? No, not really. You know, Destiny has its exotics, and they're limiting, you know, one per slot type of deal. I'm sure there's a way to do it where it's fun, and maybe you could be artifact weapons or something. What's up, everybody? But there's definitely a way they could pull it off. And I really think Halo, they are missing a huge market with making it into a looter shooter. And they have pretty much everything's already here. You have your assets, you have your world. I'm sure they have tools to build all these things, you know, this type of, you know, all this scenery and whatnot. They can easily do that. And we can already use like trees to grapple onto. Yeah, we can use these trees to grapple onto. I think the physics needs to be a little better for the grappling hook. So if I grapple this and I turn right, I should be able to flick all the way around that tree. And I'm thinking kind of like if anyone played the game Last Oasis, the grappling was great in that game, and you could fly around. You could fly around the whole level, and I don't really kind of want it to that degree, because you know the enemies have to be able to take pot shots at you here and there. You know, there's got to be a little challenge there. You don't want to be jumping around like Tarzan, you know, firing rockets off and whatever from the air. But it would be pretty cool once in a while. Jump up here, you know, get your rocket out or whatever, and then, you know, fire it down at enemies. Like, it's just like, and I think everyone needs a grappling hook. It shouldn't be a pickup or anything. It should be built into the kits. I think a lot of the existing things can be built into the kits. Let's say, for example, the maybe not the radar. Maybe that could be a pickup that you get and then throw it out there, because it's pretty powerful. But something like the reflector. So when you do your melee, right? If you have the reflector, is it the melee that does it? I think it is. But you can reflect like a rocket or projectiles back at somebody, at the person who fired it at you, based on where you're looking, right? Why not just build that into the melee? Just have the repulsor on his right arm. So when I do my melee, if someone fires a rocket at me, and let's say if I hear it and I turn and I see it and go, oh, and if I do it just right, at the right perfect timing, I am rewarded for that timing, and that rocket fires back at somebody. Or say, for example, if I miss it, if I throw my melee out too early, well, now I'm punished for it. And that's the way it needs to be. There's a risk and a reward to it. Do I want to like just like, you know, one thing? Do I want to just like jump out? You know, use my and this thing probably needs to be a little faster, the grappling hook. A little quicker, a little better physics. But I mean, we pretty much have everything we need already in this game, where you could kind of minimally throw this stuff together in a level. Just make one like level to try out. You know, big level, probably twice the size of this, maybe about as big. I mean, this is a pretty wide open area. But you need things going on, too. You need elites dropping down. You need dropships coming in. Maybe if you piss them off enough that, you know, they drop down and they have multiple dropships start coming in, they start dropping bigger and bigger things until the Spartans in the area are wiped out. I don't know. There's a ton of things you could do with this. You know, Clamber seems to be pretty good. We can kind of leave that as it is. But, yeah, just think. Use your imagination and what could be. Like, it's a beautiful game. And it's just kind of wasted right now. Just like only 4,000 people are playing it. Not really many new people are ever going to try this game. And pretty much you're at your limit of who's going to play the game. And I really think this could be a big thing. This could turn into a huge thing. And, you know, Bungie's kind of, like I said, they kind of got the market cornered with looter shooters, at least in the FPS style. And I think Halo could do it better. But in doing so, I really think that you should lean a little more heavily into the Trinity. You know, in Destiny, what it feels like to me when you're playing that game, you have your Titan, you have your Warlock, you have your Hunter classes. And that's all they have still, right? Probably. They're pretty lazy when it comes to classes. But it's pretty much doing the same thing, maybe with one having more or less DPS. Like, say the Titan, he's more of an AoE, whereas the Hunter's more of a single target. But they're pretty much doing the same thing, just doing damage. And with different flavors and different colors. Obviously, you can build the Shield Titan. That was my favorite. You know, you're blocking for your buddies, and you're reflecting things, or you're helping the team out to a degree. Or you have the Captain America Shield, which I think is part of that kit. But it's been a while since I played Destiny. But I would really like the Trinity to be leaned into a little more, just a little more. The combat can be slow enough as it is now, where we have, you know, we don't want to see super bullet spongy enemies. We want enemies to feel challenging though. Like in the Division, obviously, I think it's an AI problem. I think the enemies weren't challenging, so therefore not challenging. We got to increase their health and have maybe waves of things spawn where it kind of creates a challenge, but it's a false artificial challenge. It's not something that is organic. And that's how I want it to be. The enemies don't need these huge health bars unless they're maybe a raid boss. They need to be challenging to the point and I want to see it where players can fail. I don't want to play a game where as long as I beat my head against the wall or bang run into the wall as many times as I can, I win. That's not fun. The whole point of gaming, I think it's been lost on most of the people, most of the games nowadays. It's everyone wants to win. Everyone wants their participation medal. And that needs to stop. Dark Souls obviously is not a game that's like that. It is very punishing. I think a lot of the punishment in a game like that is more to the design, it just being clunky, switching between targets. If you put a reticule on the screen, kind of like I have right here, you put that on the screen on Dark Souls, and your character's sword followed that and sliced there at all times, I think it'd be a lot easier of a game, truthfully. I don't really need to lock on and strafe around. I can just strafe around somebody as it is. But anyway, getting back to Halo, I really think that Microsoft and 343 would have a banger here if they would just put a little effort, a little time into designing something like what I just talked about and making it fun and cyclical. What do I mean by cyclical? It's something I think, Guild Wars 2 does it pretty well. If you've ever played that game, so you're in a level, say kind of like I explained earlier, where you're in one area and it leads you to another area and so on and so forth. The same type of idea. Events need to happen, and kind of along the lines of Bungie's Destiny's public events, but not as trite as that. So with those public events, you can get timers online. There's ways to see, exactly how long you have until it happens. I don't want something so blatantly static, where when it's going to happen, how to make it heroic, all that type of stuff. Obviously, there should be events that are heroic in the game, or that you can make heroic in this game. But that's not what I'm saying. It needs to be fun and feel like it's happening dynamically around you, and it's not something just designed for you to go to every 5 minutes. Maybe something leads to something and it's not, who knows, maybe it's every 10 minutes, maybe it's every half hour. You don't know is the point. It could happen at any time. So it's as long as you're playing and having fun and that moment-to-moment gameplay is there, that's what you're looking for. That's what you want in the game. So I really think, Infinite has the opportunity to have a mode like that and to go lean into that looter-shooter route where, you have different variations of the BR. Maybe not a one-shot or three-shot, or maybe there's a single-shot BR. I don't know. They already have the DMR. Do we need a one-shot BR? Probably not. Do we need different variations? Yeah, you can have different variations of it. Maybe not to how it was in Warzone from Halo 5. Man, they had a good mode and they ruined it by pay to win. If you had the most expensive or the hardest to get stuff, the legendary stuff, you could just walk on top of people because it was so. I don't want to see guns and things and vehicles like that. I think the vehicles are fine. We already have the Gauss, we have the Rocket Hog, we have the regular Warthog with the minigun on the back. We don't need to mess with the vehicles too much. The Wasp, get rid of it. We don't need vehicles that don't promote teamwork and co-op. The Wasp was a horrible choice. Whoever did that, shame on you. It really ruined multiplayer. You have people just sitting at the bottom of a map, rise up, fire missiles, and shoot people, get a couple kills, go back down, rise up again. It's so boring. The Hornet, I believe is what it was called from Halo 3 when they introduced that. You had the pilot. You didn't have any weapons, but you flew your two minigunners around, and it was up to you, the pilot, and your gunners to make a difference. I would say you could probably have variations of that. Maybe one has a gauze, and maybe you could set it up so the gauze takes enough damage and it shuts down, and it's unusable. Now the pilot, you go, hey pilot, my gauze is down, and then the pilot, we got to dip behind these rocks, and repair the gauze or something. And you could have maybe an engineer class that repairs things like that. Now, we're kind of turning into a semi-battlefield, but remember what I said about the Trinity? You could have a support class that buffs shields or buffs armor or buffs something, and they could be, you're the guy that helps the tank or the healer. Now, I don't want to see someone just sitting there and just, holding, my switch button is, there we go, holding, left click on someone, just looking at somebody. If you're going to do healing of any sort, the best way I think would be to do a tap heal. Fire off a shot at somebody, maybe it's a healing dart. Fire, dart at them, boom, they're healing, and the hot can't be huge, obviously. It's got to be enough to be adequate. But I don't want to I want them to be in the fight, too. I want to see them fighting, enemies as well alongside me, as well as healing the person. And obviously that's their job, being the support. Look, there's definitely ways to do it. Should I use a lot of my time figuring it out for them? Not really, but it's just something that's been in the back of my mind and something I've wanted to talk about for a long time now. I really think 343 and Microsoft have something big here. Neither has taken the time or opportunity or thought process to go through it and try and flesh it out to a degree and make something out of it. Because you have this beautiful, huge, beautiful game you've made in this beautiful world, but it's just being wasted. Like I said, 4,000 people are playing the game. That's not enough. You can do better, and I hope you do better. It's there for you if you want it. So, hit me up, consult me. Obviously I'm not going to work for free, but I really think you have something that you could do here that would put a big boost into the Halo brand again, too. And just think of the irony, too. The irony of being alongside and fighting against Bungie. Not that I hate Bungie or anything, I don't. But you could be, a competitor to the people that broke away from you and hopefully have a better product if it's run right. None of this woke stuff. We don't need any of that crap in games. We already see where DEI and woke's going. So don't do it. Leave it out. And just make a good game. People will play. That's kind of been my motto with free-to-play games. You make a good free-to-play game, people will play. They will give you money if you make it non-intrusive and good enough to the point where people want to try it. And then when they try it, they go, whoa, this is great. I love this game. I want to contribute. That's how I feel. I'd imagine there's many other people. Obviously, if you want to be a scumbag and include like pay to win, you can do it, and there will be idiots that pay it and buy it, and obviously that's how they make money with the loot boxes and stuff like that. But you don't want to do that. Don't lower yourself to that level. I think if you have good morals, good morality, and good ethics, and you throw that into your game design as well, people will follow, people will join, people will want to play, and you have this preferably a non-toxic environment, make it fun for everybody. And I know there's people out there who say, oh, I don't want Trinity, I hate Trinity, I don't want to wait for a tank to queue. As long as you get your specs, like I'm a person that likes to play, I like playing everything. I like playing the tank, I like playing the support, I love playing the DPS, I like doing it all, just make it so for people like me, you got to have a respec that's non-intrusive, that allows people that want to do that an easy option to switch between. It's like, say, if you're waiting for a tank for 5 minutes, it's like, okay, well, we don't have a tank, I'll tank, and I'm going to get the same amount of rewards, and it's better for everybody. You got to give people that option. So like I said, there's a lot to be fleshed out here, but I really think it could work. I really think there's something that's there that they could totally capitalize on, and it would be just a big, and what a surprise too. What if we heard in a week, Microsoft comes out and Phil Spencer goes, hey, we love Halo Infinite. We think our guys and girls did a great job on the game, and we want to extend the franchise into new territory, and then they go, oh, we're making a looter shooter. It'd be big. All right, everyone, if you liked the video, please like it. If not, dislike. If you agree, if you have a comment, please say so. Like, I can only think so much on these things, and I really come from the opinion that everyone can have a good opinion or a good idea out there. Even your janitor at your company could have a good idea, and it could be something that you're not capitalizing on. It could be the game-breaking idea where it's like when you Bill Cosby had a show, kids say the darndest things. Sometimes kids say things that are like, blows you away. You're like, whoa, I didn't even think about that. The same here. The more people that get together and brainstorm and come up with ideas, obviously you got to have project leads and people that run the vision, but you also need the people that are going to be, that can contribute to that. What if they had this great idea about how to do this certain system? and they never got it across. You know, and to me, there needs to be incentives. Like, what if somebody give them a gift card, give them something? You know, you contribute, you help the game out. Obviously, it's your job because you're working for that entity. But at the same time, you know, you do need to reward behavior like that. What if because people won't go above and beyond. Maybe some people are just there to collect a paycheck and work, you know, Monday to Friday. You know, if you say, hey, we can get you a $50 gift card, you come up with an idea that we like and we start using, people start coming up with ideas. And then you really start getting this creative flow in there. I mean, it's untapped. And I think a lot of businesses don't do it, and they don't roundtable enough with stuff like this. So if you like it. If you don't. Please do leave a comment. Add to the idea if you'd like. I'd love to. Maybe I'll do another video on this, and I'll try and hash it out some more. But yeah, I really think Microsoft and 343 could have something here, and it could be real big. So if you haven't already, find Christ. It's the one thing you got to do in this life that matters. I'm telling you right now. God bless.